scariest stories in Alabama aren't even about hauntings. They're about history that's been buried so intricately that the truth seems like a legend. Some of us know about what happened at Black Wall Street in Tulsa, but how many of us know about what happened in Eufaula, Alabama in 1874? This story starts shortly after the 15th Amendment granted black men the ability to vote. In 1870, black people in Barber County had voting power, and they were able to vote in Elias Keels as city court judge. He was considered an ally and supported the aims of Reconstruction. That didn't sit right for non-black voters in the county. So in 1874, the tides turned. Employers in the area started openly firing black men, mainly in fear due to the amount of black men who would be voting for Keels again. So false rumors began around the riotous intentions behind black voters coming to the polls. This actually caused white residents to load up on arms that they intended to use on election day. Many of these people aligning with the White League, which was an openly supremacist group. Keels, in turn, began making promises that black voters would be protected at the polls. Some calls were made, but the federal government and the Attorney General of Alabama refused to support black voters, leaving them largely unprotected. Hundreds and hundreds of black men came to vote. Numerous were arrested immediately on the spot for fraud accusations. Others were even intimidated to vote against their civil rights. And during that commotion, that same group of white leaguers took up their arms and went to the upstairs of buildings surrounding the square. They let off over 400 rounds indiscriminately into the crowd of black voters. The black voters were mostly defenseless, except for the ones that brought sticks to protect themselves. 80 or more of them were injured and dozens passed away. Over 500 blacks fled the area without ever voting. And again, that same group of white leaguers went over to Spring Hill, Alabama, where Keels was supervising the polls. They trashed everything, including the ballots that were cast. And Keels' teenage son passed away due to the crowd. A black man named Hilliard Miles saw everything that happened in Eufaula. He was jailed due to identifying the people who were responsible. Among these people was the alleged leader, Braxton Comer, who would eventually go on to become the governor of Alabama. None of the people who did this, including the ones who were identified, were held responsible or had any charges. However, on November 3rd, 1874, over 1,200 black voters were able to cast ballots. But after the circumstances of this day, in 1876, only 10 black people voted. Any recollection of what happened in Eufaula is all but lost. There are no historical markers or any semblance of people who passed away here. There is a memorial to Leroy Brown, a fish who was an urban legend in the area. And a Confederate monument sits firmly where these events took place. Anything that happened here seemed to be washed away with amnesia and antebellum homes. In the area, there is a historical marker to what happened in Spring Hill, but it is a loose recollection and nothing more. I will always say this, I'm way more scared of what the living will do as opposed to what an apparition can. The most haunting thing in the state of Alabama isn't actually a ghost story. It's about what people have done to others because of their race and color. This event may not be in our history books, but it is our history. And it's on us to know it, to learn from it, and be better in spite of it.